Welcome to all of our viewers watching this video. We are joined by Dubai Duty Free Executive Vice Chairman and CEO, Colm McLoughlin. Hi Colm, how are you?
Andrew, I'm very good, thank you. And hello, everybody that's watching. I'm Colm from Dubai Duty Free.
And thanks so much for taking the time to join us.
I'm happy to join you, Andrew.
Okay,
We've been talking to each other for many years.
We have.
And it's good to see you. It's good to see you as a film star with your new beard.
Thank you very much. So I'll begin in earnest. I mean, we all know how turbulent last year was due to the impact of COVID-19, but how have things started in the early days of 2021? And what is the mood among the Dubai Duty Free executive team and staff?
Well, you know, things have started a little bit better. We're hoping that it will continue to improve. We're counting the passengers every day and we're counting the flights every day, but of course they're way down even on the beginning of last year, because the COVID did not have an effect on last year until perhaps into March time. And the flights are still well down if we compare it with 2019, but it is positive. And our team of staff are very positive about what's going to happen, and indeed everybody at Dubai Airport.
Yeah. Are you able to provide like a final sales figure for 2020? And if so, how did this ultimately compare to 2019?
Our sales for the whole year last year were 65% down on the previous year. In 2020, we made sales of just under $700 million US. In 2019, our sales were just over $2 billion US. And our budget for this year in total is, based on the traffic forecast, is just a little bit more than last year. We're expecting like $750 million US in 2021, in comparison to 700 million last year. And we do think, therefore, looking at the forecast and looking at the traffic, we think we would not get back to the 2019 level until perhaps 2023 or even 2024.
I mean, one can only hope that, we talked off camera about the vaccines, things accelerate and you have some pleasant surprises along the way there, which could happen. But it's good to have like a prediction and forecast of how things will transpire.
And we're trying to introduce new things. You know, during the past year, we did introduce a home delivery service. It has worked very well for us. We introduced it at the end of June last year, and we have made sales on that of about $13 million US. We're hoping that's going to increase this year. We are learning from it and selecting the products that people want and the number of orders that are coming in. So we're hoping that's going to do. We've given a new buzz to what we call click and collect, which we've been doing here for a number of years, and we're promoting that a little bit. And we find that more and more people are actually using it, so they order in advance, and when they come to the airport, they can collect what they've ordered. And that's got a positive feel about it for the coming year. And it's been very enthusiastically supported by all our staff. And we have found, oddly enough, in the bad times that we've just gone by, our sale per head has increased. You know, we've been following that very closely for many years. And our sale per head in the last few months has gone from like $44 a head to close to $60 a head. And we're hoping that continues in the coming year.
Yeah, this seems to be a trend across a lot of airports and airport retailers that I've spoken to. Like it's almost as if it's a feeling of pent-up frustration where those that are traveling and those that are spending want to spend more. So it seems quite a common theme there.
We have found that, and we're trying to determine whether it's because there's less congestion in the place. We have certainly got a very enthusiastic team of staff that are promoting the place very, very well. But it's a good trend. We're trying to put our finger on what it is. perhaps passengers are thinking, well, I won't be traveling as frequently as I was before. Let's use the opportunity to purchase now. But it is a positive, whatever the reasons, the result is positive.
And can you please provide an update in terms of where Dubai Duty Free is regarding store reopenings? When can we expect that Al Maktoum to reopen? And how have customers taken to the various changes in the store layouts?
We have, depending on the traffic forecast, at the moment we have Concourse B operating. And people that have not been to Dubai Airport will not understand what Concourse B means. We have a Concourse A, which is closed, and we're expecting that to open perhaps in May, depending on the traffic. We have what's called Concourse D. We're expecting that to open around the end of March, depending on the traffic. And of course, the second airport, which is totally closed at the moment, we're expecting that may open around September, October time. But again, it all depends on how much the traffic increases, how much the COVID-19 is controlled everywhere in the world. And there's a very good job being made in Dubai by the authorities in Dubai to do that.
You mentioned before how you have an idea and how you possibly expect 2021 to pan out. Can you please provide details of any maybe any other commercial projects on the horizon for this year? Because while the recovery gathers pace, I know that you probably got lots of projects you want to try and work on in the meantime.
Well, I think the online sale is going to continue to increase. I've mentioned already the home delivery here, but we found also during a lot of the lockdown time that selling online, for example, our Millennium Millionaire promotion, which has been a very popular thing at Dubai Duty Free for many years, that has increased considerably. And we drew in the last year $27 million, which people won. And of course, we sell tickets for it. We're not saying we give it away by any means. So we do think the online thing is going to have to be concentrated on very much more. We do think also that special offers to our customers going to have to be concentrated on a lot more. But we are finding the kind of categories that have always been popular are continuing to be the one that lead the way. And we're trying where we're possible to give extra space to the leading items. We're trying where possible to have special offers. And we're trying where possible to sell as much on mail as we can.
Interesting.
But it depends on traffic, Andrew. In 2019, we had through the airport 89 million passengers. In 2020, we finished the year with 22 million passengers. And the current forecast with the present circumstances for 2021 is 32 million. Now, if that goes up to 40 million, sure, we'll do much better. But at the current thing, our budgets are all based on those figures.
Okay, and you mentioned, we both discussed before the increased spend per passenger. What else? What can Dubai Duty Free do to try to capitalize on this? We've talked about how you're going to see how this transpires, but what else can you do to try to even further drive this increased spend per passenger?
Well, I think pricing is a consideration that people understand very much more. I think the efforts of the sales staff to facilitate customers, and that is working very successfully because there's not the same pressure on everybody in the area. And I think special offers, promotions for events, promotions for things like China New Year, for example, will be very, very positive. And we're continuing to try and develop those as well as we can.
And you have plans in place for Chinese New Year to try to do something still, even though there's the numbers might be lower.
We have plans, of course. The numbers are lower, and we're encouraging as far as we can that those people will return, but the numbers are lower. We have a large contingent of Chinese staff in the Dubai duty free, and they're joining us and helping us in whatever way they can. So I think value is something that people are looking at more and more. I think quality of service is being looked at more and more, which would help the sale per head category that we're talking about.
Mm. And speaking of China, do you believe we're going to see like something like a monopolistic swing in travel retail sales to China and Hainan, given like the establishment of the Hainan free trade port? And what impact will a potential like concentration of revenue in China perhaps have on Dubai duty free and maybe the industry as a whole even?
Well, it depends on the traffic again from China. Of course, people in China will have the opportunity to shop there. It is a fantastic announcement. But I think all over the world, Andrew, the better announcements that come from everywhere help the whole industry. We don't scratch our head and say, oh my goodness, we're going to lose this because somebody else is doing something. We welcome all the time when there's new announcements. We welcome all the time when there's new airport terminals opened up, because we think that helps to get the duty free back to where it was. You know, in 2019, we read about the whole duty free industry at the airports being worth about $75 billion US. And we think the more that happens in any part of the world helps to create the image of the duty free industry and keep it in a positive vein. So we have no problem if other airports do things. And often we can learn from them, of course. And if we find a good idea there, sure, we copy it. But they also copy us.
What purchasing trends do you expect to encounter from a category perspective, like during this year and beyond? And how will Dubai duty free continue adapting to perhaps a changing profile of passenger? Or do you think the profile of the passenger will remain the same? What are your feelings on this?
Well, the profile passengers are generally the same, except there's new additions to it every year. We read about younger people traveling. And of course, when we do find something new happens, we try our best to cater for it. But you know, a pair of sunglasses is a pair of sunglasses. And if somebody wants to buy them, we have them.
I wouldn't expect it any other way. What are some of the lessons learned by Dubai duty free during this traumatic period, and why? And also, you touched on this before, but how would you assess the support of the UAE authorities and Dubai airports, for that matter, during the pandemic and now?
We have a great relationship with Dubai Airport, and you know, we all have the same chairman for these organizations. We're part of the government in Dubai. I think there is a fantastic effort by the authorities in Dubai to control the virus. On an average day, there are 130,000 checks being done in Dubai, in the UAE. The control is terrific. The viruses are available. The rules and regulations that are set down are being adhered to. And everybody is now encouraged to go and have the vaccine, but there are several types of vaccines available and they're being distributed. I think the whole operation is being controlled very, very well. And we all feel so much safer because of that. I think they're doing a very good job.
Excellent. I mean, I've been speaking to lots of people in China, and the Chinese government. They've also done an excellent job in controlling the virus, as have governments in many other places. So this is it's great to hear that the UAE has followed suit. I just wanted to ask, how do you think your relationship with suppliers will develop in the post, or change even in the post-COVID-19 world? And how would you assess, and how have you worked with suppliers during the traumatic period?
We have found the suppliers very cooperative, and that's been something we have encouraged over all the years we've been here. And we've just completed our 37th year. In the case of the period that's just gone, we found the suppliers very cooperative. Of course, we paid all our suppliers up to date. but we had good cooperation from the suppliers with merchandise that was dated, for example, that we needed to return, and many of them cooperated with us. They understand the situation very, very well. They understand that our level of purchasing will be reduced, but they're responding in a very good way. I have no problem with the suppliers. I have no problem with their cooperation. Generally, they're very, very helpful. And in many cases also, they are trying to support needy causes, like we do in our Dubai Duty Free Foundation. We contributed quite a large sum of money to the health authority to buy protective clothing for the people. And we hear a lot about the frontline people, and they're very important to help out and look after, because in turn, they are the people that will look after us if we're in hospital, will look after us from the point of view of the vaccine and so on. But on your question, I'm rambling. On your question, our relationship with our suppliers, we're very happy with.
Excellent. That's great to hear. I just wanted to ask you just a question about sustainability, which is something that's close to the hearts of everybody here at TRBusiness. I mean, we have our event coming up later this year. How is Dubai Duty Free sustainability journey progressing, and individually and in partnership with Dubai Airports?
We have been talking about sustainability for a long, long time, and we have introduced many categories. For example, before it was being discussed in the industry at all, we had completely biodegradable bags, for example. We are and have introduced a bag that's reusable. We are committed and we're accredited within accreditation regarding sustainability. We control very much what goes into refuse. We control very much what is recycled. We have a system where it's all separate. And our record in that has been awarded many, many times by various bodies around the world. I think it's important. Our relationship with Dubai Airport is very good, because they're also very much in the same mindset as we are from the point of view of sustainability. And one big thing that's happening here is the World Exhibition. It's called Expo 2020. It has been postponed until next year, until this year, but it's still being called Expo 2020. And one of their subcategories is sustainability. And we're very happy about that.
Excellent. And just finally, you mentioned you have a great relationship with Dubai Airports. Can you just offer an insight into how that relationship has functioned during the pandemic? Offer an insight into how you communicated and maybe the main elements of your communication, which must have intensified even more during this period.
There is a good cooperation. You know, my chairman is His Highness Sheikh Ahmed bin Saeed Al Maktoum. He's also the chairman of Dubai Airport. So whilst he's my superior, he's also the superior of Paul Griffiths, who's the chief executive of Dubai Airport. And we see ourselves very much as the same family. And we discuss all the matters that are needed from the point of view of traffic movement, and from the point of view even of car parking, from the point of view of stock delivery. You know, we're like two brothers, if you like, two companies that two brothers trying to get the best result possible. And we're completely updated by the airport on traffic forecast, traffic movement. We update them on what our requirements are. If they're discussing something that will need our cooperation from the point of view of opening other areas or something, it's all a full discussion. We generally and honestly kick the ball with the same foot. And I think that's important.
Fantastic. And just finally, do you have a message? What would be your message for people that are approaching 2021 with perhaps some fear? And what will be your message in general to the industry as we embark on what will no doubt be a challenging year, but perhaps a successful one come the end of it?
Well, I think that, you know, the industry has grown very much, and we often hear about when it started at Shannon Airport in Ireland in 1947, and it was very, very tiny. I think it has been very, very successful. I think the cooperation between retailers and suppliers is very important. I think we should all be trying to market the thing together. We should give support and attend events. And now a lot of the events are virtual. I think they should be supported by everybody around the world. But we're all talking about the same thing. We're all talking about serving passengers that go through the airport, and we should do that in the best value way possible. And that would be my message to everybody around the world.
And great, I think that's a great way to end. Thank you so much, Colm, for taking the time to speak with us today. And I really hope to see you in person somewhere in the world soon, hopefully this year.
Hopefully this year, Andrew, indeed. And I wish you well and can wish you well with the publication. And indeed, congratulations on all the support for the whole industry.
And congratulations.
And thank you for talking to me today.
No, thank you. And happy belated 37th anniversary from everybody at TRBusiness to everyone at Dubai Duty Free.
Thank you, Andrew, very much. And a happy 2021. Stay safe.